Hey everyone, we are live. Thank you so much for joining us. We are doing the segment Art plus Culture plus Latino Arts Foundation Festival. And we have an amazing guest today, a dear friend and a task force member for the festival, Erin Zimmerman. Hi, Erin.
Hello, how are you?
Good. I'm so glad you're here with us today.
I'm so glad you invited me. Like I said, when you asked me, I was like super thrilled and also like, why would you ask me? I am so white. But I'm so happy to be here and I love that this is for all people and I love what we're talking about today. So,
And and that's the thing. It's like we have it as Latino Arts Festival for sure. Want to highlight our culture, and that involves so many cultures. Because as everyone knows, Latinos are not just one. We have many within, so we try to highlight as many. But we also love to highlight the people that are doing amazing work, just in general. Especially with what we'll talk about today in regards to your videography and the work you do for KC Film. And your story is just so phenomenal. And what our community and what the kids we work with at the foundation get from you is that learning, that mentorship, because, no matter our skin color, we all have journeys. And your journey can definitely be something that another child can relate to. So you're very important, and we're so glad you're here.
thank you again so much for having me.
So let's go ahead and start out with your background and your story. I too want to know a little bit more about, who you are. Are you from Kansas City? And definitely how you got into the whole film area and what you do specifically in the film area.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Erin, and yes, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri side. I spent part of my childhood going back and forth between California and here. My parents actually met. It's a very Kansas City story. They met working for the Kansas City Kings NBA team, and then they traveled with them when they moved to Sacramento. So I was a back and forth baby, but Kansas City has always been home. Um, Flash forward a few years. So what I do now is I have a company called Easy Visibility. So I'm a visibility strategist as well as a video and podcast producer. And I got into that really, a lot of it has to do with, I was in corporate, I was in marketing for a movie theater company, and I could no longer move up in the company. And there were some other things I was like just feeling kind of deflated. And so I thought, one of the things that I do really, really well is social media management. So I thought I'd break off and do social media management. And I did that for a while, but I found that the managing of social media wasn't really lighting me up. And I had, other things as well. As a new entrepreneur, I didn't have boundaries. I was giving all kinds of discounts. There were all kinds of things that led me to really want to pursue something more video focused. And that the video stuff for me, the film stuff really started in college. I found interest in a lot of film classes. I ended up studying film and new media and really, really loved it. I even got the chance to study abroad in London and go and visit like the BBC. And that's actually where I fell in love with film commissions, was in London. And I wanted to work at the London Film Commission, not realizing that Kansas City would soon have one of their own again, which we can talk about a little bit. So I broke off, did social media management, and then I was like, why am I doing something that doesn't light me up? So I just made the decision to do so. And here's the thing. I made the decision, and then it took me like 8 months to actually transition into doing that work because I was still scared.
Well, and that's the thing, especially that a lot of people ask is, it makes we look like it can be easy, but at the end of the day, you just don't see that background, hard work, hustle, even the scaredness, like breaking off from corporate, going into this world of unknown of what that will entail. So tell us a little bit about that part. Like, I mean, just to give other people insight on how that journey was for you.
Yeah. So, number one, I had a very supportive family family and I had savings. So that's why I was able to
Huge.
break off. That's a big thing, because otherwise I would have kept working while I built it in the background. And everyone's journey is different, but I did have that little bit of safety net that helped me out there. But I did make the decision, and and it was partially the leaving corporate decision was partially actually helped by my participation in Kansas City Women in Film and Television.
Yes.
So when I came home from college, maybe I should start talking about that. When I came home from college, I thought I really want to be working on films, which is what led me to the movie theater marketing. But I didn't know anyone. Yeah. And so one summer I participated in a film competition here in Kansas City, and I still didn't find my people. And I felt, and this is, completely my perspective, it's not truth, but I felt like the people who were already part of that annual competition, they all knew each other. They were biased, and were always going to choose to work with each other. So it felt like a very closed loop there that I couldn't quite get into. And part of me was like, I don't need them.
Girl, I'm there with you right now. Okay. And I think there's a lot of people in Kansas City that are feeling that right now. And I'm so glad that you talk about that openly, because whether or not that is in our own head and that's not really happening, it is our truth. And I think the more we talk about it, the more that other people will be like, okay, it's not just me. It's not just something I'm feeling, but and sometimes it is, and most of the time it is true. Film and art are kind of the same, in the same world of, especially in Kansas City, it's very cliquey.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, I feel like it is widely cliquey, and I've talked to many people, and again, it's not the truth for everyone. Right. And some people who are part of that clique will say, no, that's not true. It's like white privilege. Yes. People who have it won't necessarily see that.
Exactly.
Coming from a white lady, I know. So
I love you, Erin.
I love you.
This is why we are friends, and this is why it's just.
I acknowledge my problems and everything, and I work to fix things. But yeah, it felt like a really, like I said, a broken community. No, it felt like a very closed loop. But then I made a connection. I was running a film festival for this movie theater that I was working for. Like, I decided I'm just going to start running a film festival because I loved it. Like, I got a chance to go to Sundance Film Festival, so I'm going to just do this. And I did. For 4 years, I ran that sucker. I mean, besides having some funding, I ran it a lot by myself. And I really learned a lot about filmmaking and the curating process and everything behind the scenes. And it was so much fun. And I met some people who were with Kansas City Women in Film and Television, and they were looking for a secretary.
You're like, I'll take it.
Right? Aren't we all looking for a secretary?
Yes.
So, it's an all-volunteer nonprofit organization here in Kansas City. And they said, hey, we need a secretary. I was like, cool, I'm in. And I was the secretary for like 3 years.
Nice.
And that was where I found my in to the film community. And I feel like now I'm the president. I've been on the board for almost 6 years. And I feel like that's where I found not only my into the film community, but my own kind of my people. Yes. And we're not all women. Our mission, and we've revamped our mission. So we are part of an international nonprofit. Like, we're a leg of that, which has always historically focused on elevating female voices. Mm-hmm. But we went in a couple of years ago and said, well, we're not just elevating female voices, and we have members that are all genders. So we're going to say, hey, we're focusing on the marginalized voices, and that includes all genders and our allies, because we can't do what we're doing a lot of the time without our allies. Like, we could do things kind of in the shadows, and then we need the allies to help. Like, they need to step up. So we have some that have stepped up, and we have plenty more that can still step up. As
this is why we're here. Yes.
So we're here for everyone. We want, we used to be focused on, more hobbyists and independent filmmakers, but we have people who work for the television stations here. We've got, bigger filmmakers we've got them in LA and New York because a lot of them kind of spread out from Kansas City. They want to come home. They're starting to come home because of that film office I was talking about earlier.
Absolutely.
Big piece of it.
Yes.
And so, we're just a collective of people. We help fund, we help educate, and we really like to partner with other organizations. And that's another thing that I feel like I have brought to the organization is I felt like all of our film-focused organizations, at least in Kansas City, were very cut off from each other. I mean, we communicated.
Yes.
A little bit of crossover, but we weren't working together, and we've really started to work together more because why reinvent the wheel?
Yes.
And why not accept support and realize that everything's better if you're working with other people?
So true. And I'm going to tell you, the first time that I knew about the KC Women in Television was because of Queer Eye. So when I got asked to be a part of it, Rachel Mendez and Jen Lane and Susan Young, who so love Susan and all of them, they're amazing, were actually on the panel. And at Westport, oh my God, I forgot the name.
Yes, Westport Flea Market.
Westport Flea Market, yes. I haven't been anywhere in forever. I'm forgetting names of places. And me and my husband and my son actually sat in the back because I wasn't sure at that time.
Oh my gosh, you were there?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And the most amazing thing was I had never heard about you all, first of all. And second of all, I don't even know anything that's here's Steph. Oh my gosh. Hi, Steph. Oh, she's watching.
Hi, Steph. Yes, it was the best panel ever because Steph was on it too.
Yes. And so for me, as somebody who works in the arts with aspiring artists, and some of them are in videography, it was just so amazing to me to be like, there's a whole community here in Kansas City that I had no idea about. And at that point, I still didn't know about it because all I knew was Rachel's on this amazing team. She's a phenomenal producer and she's Latina. And, how the heck do I get my kids that I'm working with to be like Rachel, And then I met Susan, and then of course met Jen, and just the work that even Susan did with me. It was just, it's like family, and still to this day we still reach out to each other. So I just want Kansas City to know, like, from somebody from the outside looking in that got a glimpse, just a taste of what happens with film in Kansas City. It is so impactful. Without all of you, I would not be here right now doing this podcast, first of all. And second of all, I would not be doing the foundation. I would still be doing, on the side, trying to get motivated, try to get moving. And because of the Film Fest and bringing Queer Eye here and bringing the phenomenal team, as well as Kansas City filmmakers and aspiring filmmakers to be here to work, it's just like, wow, you all are. I just want you all to know how phenomenal your teams are.
We love our film community and our TV community. Like we're pretty close. So yes, and thank you for saying that. I want to shout it from the rooftops all the time. How appreciative I am for everyone, especially those who are willing to collaborate with each other. Because like I said, when I started, not only did I feel like outcast, it's because I was new, of course. You're gonna have those feelings, but I found my people, and then my people helped me find more people, and it's really, I don't know, we're a growing community, and it's not just nonprofits. Like we said, Steph Scullum, who caught at least a second of this today, she is our Kansas City Film Commissioner. We actually just reinstated a film office recently. I say recently, it was like 5 years ago, but that's super recent. And it's, I feel like she is our champion. Not I feel like Steph is our champion. We usually have two people working in the film office, she and Rachel, and they both work really, really hard to bring productions to Kansas City because we have a film incentive here in Kansas City. We don't yet have a state film incentive, but we do have a city film incentive. And so that is what helps bring bring productions in, but without people like an amazing team of Steph and Rachel, we wouldn't have had Queer Eye here. They invite people in. They are not accommodating to be for being accommodating's sake. You know what I'm saying? They're really like, I don't know. I know for a fact that they welcomed those producers in, and then that was a main reason that they chose Kansas City, and they fell in love with Kansas City.
They did. They still talk about it to this day. I just talked to Rachel on text 2 days ago, I think. And, missing KC so much. It was just like home, and not even being here, or being here before, and just knowing how amazing it was. And that's why, like with me, with the Queer Eye, and I'm sure a lot of our other heroes feel the same. It's like, I want to share all I can about what your industry here in Kansas City does, like the Stephs, like the Erins, like the Rachels, because those are the hidden heroes, like gems in our city that don't get a lot of, airtime, and people don't know a lot about what they have to do to get, magic here. Right. And so I'm just trying to use my platform as much as I can to ensure that the artists and videographers and photographers that I'm working with, that they know that they do have support here.
Yes. Yes, you do have support. And here's the thing. One thing that I've learned a lot, being an entrepreneur, being in a nonprofit, just in life, you're going to get a lot of no's. And that's okay, because your community is out there. You just, sometimes you just got to do a little digging. Sometimes they just fall into your lap. I feel like that's what happened with KC Lift. And I do want to say, the event that we were talking about earlier, where you were apparently at, and that makes me so happy.
Loved it.
So this was, I don't know, a year and a half at least ago, probably more than that. But it was when they were filming Queer Eye here. And so part of the film incentive, so in order for people to get money back, a tax incentive to shoot here in Kansas City, they have a community service piece. Which I love that was written into it. And Steph, the film commissioner, oh, I love you, Steph. She reached out to Kansas City Women in Film and Television and was like, hey, this production team is not only did they hire a lot of the production team here in Kansas City, but it's like led by a bunch of fierce females. And it's mainly, I think the production team was a lot like majority female. And she was like, so I was wondering if their community piece could come to one of your events. And we do these fun things called WIFT Wednesdays. Now we do them every other month when we can be in person. And actually we do them right now. We do them virtually. This coming Wednesday is a WIFT Wednesday. So if you look at the Kansas City Women in Film and TV Facebook page, you'll find it. It'll be streaming Wednesday at 7:30. Sorry. And just a tiny plug.
No, we will share that too.
But so we have these events, and at the time they were at Westport Flea Market, and we had, it was 2 producers and the main camera person, all women. We invited Steph, the film commissioner, to come and moderate a panel, and she did. And it was so much fun. And I feel like a lot of it had to do with, and if Netflix ever sees this, maybe they'll kill me for it. I don't know. But Netflix doesn't, well, a lot of production companies don't, especially, when you're in production, they don't allow filming of anything.
Right.
So we were able to take a couple of pictures just, of the ladies together. And that was about it. And because there was no filming allowed, we were able to open up a whole can of worms, a big conversation that was insightful and entertaining. And I felt like I could be best friends with these people afterwards. Like, I really felt like and they told their stories about, they didn't just, start from square one at producer, everything they did to get there. It was super inspirational. I know that there were some kids in the audience. That was the biggest crowd we had. We had 120 people there. Yes. It was
like busting out the door.
It was. It was wonderful. I was so happy. And I'm so happy that Kansas City showed up for them, because they showed up for Kansas City. And the amount of exposure that Kansas City got because of this is you can't calculate it.
No, not at all.
You can't. And I love that people are coming here, or even just seeing it on TV. Like that makes it accessible for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're considering coming here either to vacation or to come here to work. Because they're starting to see that there is an industry here. There are opportunities here. And I love that, in part because I was the kid who was like, I'm never going to be able to do anything I want to do here in Kansas City. Like, this is where my family is, and I'm going to have to live elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I can have both. And I love that.
I need you to talk about that more with our kids, and especially my kids, because I think when you're young and you don't have a lot of access, yet, or don't know where to find it, you do feel like somewhere else is going to be more accepting. I, as a mom, even feel that way sometimes. Like, is their talent, or, going to be utilized the way it should? Are they going to be seen? Are they just going to be the Latino kids? And it's just those questions that you put in your head that if you don't plant them somewhere else, will they ever grow?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you're surrounded by messaging, and I feel like things are constantly changing, but at the same time, sometimes you as an individual or as an organization or as a community need to force it.
Yeah. You really do.
Because, for example, I was talking to a friend recently, and she's an actress who is here in the Midwest, and she is not white.
Okay.
And she said, most of the auditions I've gone for are like Midwestern mom. And people only see Midwestern mom as white, or at least, I don't know if it's casting director. I don't know. I'm not trying to call it because I don't know who it is, but they're casting, they end up going with white moms. And you'll start seeing that more and more now with regional commercials or with anything targeted at us here in the Midwest. It's like moms. White moms. And it's frustrating for her because she's like, there are so many parts that I could be getting elsewhere.
Yes.
But I love, but I'm here. This is where I live. And so she feels like it's deterring her. So we're trying to make her own opportunities there. It's like we all have, if you have a phone or access to a phone, you have a camera, more than likely, unless I mean, my grandma has a flip phone and she has a camera on it.
That's my mom too.
So I mean, it's there. And if not, there are organizations that have access to equipment rental and things like that as well that can help you out. There are accessible things here. If you have an idea and you feel like you can't get it out there, or you're not in the majority or something. Yeah. We are here for that. That's why Kansas City Women in Film and Television is here. That's why Deanna is here. That's why we're here. We want to make things accessible for you. Yes, we have a film commission and we have these arts organizations and stuff. And some of them may seem pie in the sky if you're looking at them from like a brand new perspective, or if you're just finding out about them. But I promise, we are trying to make them as easily accessible as possible. I think that, one of the things that has come out of this pandemic is that so many of us, more organizations, are coming together online, which makes things even more accessible for those who can get access to internet, which again, isn't everyone, but we're working on it. We're working on it.
Absolutely.
So if you don't have the means to travel somewhere, you've got us right here.
Yes. And so I'm hoping that somebody out there will be like, wow, so you might have some phone calls, which I hope will happen, because just even asking, don't be afraid to ask. Like, just if you see Erin on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, I know she's amazing. I asked her questions without her even really knowing me. And we just became really good friends, and she's just been so supportive of everything. So with that, I definitely want to talk about how all this amazing work that you've done and that you're doing, and what Casey Whift is doing, that is so impactful. And that's why you are going to be so amazing on this Latino Arts Festival task force, because you are going to be bringing access to the film, videography, all of it, to kids, aspiring artists who otherwise would not know about any of this.
Yes.
So let's talk about that piece of it. So Erin is a part of our task force, and love to hear on your side about what you think about all this.
Yes. Real quick sidebar. I just want everyone to know that the way that Deanna and I connected, I literally was following her on Instagram and I was like, man, I really want to know her. And I feel like we could partner on some things. And I feel like not only the nonprofit that I'm working with, but also like me as a person. Anyway, I DM'd her. I'm not saying that she's going to answer every direct message, but I just want you to know. I just want you to know that it can be that simple. You just sometimes you just got to get up the courage to message someone, and if they don't respond to you, it's okay. That's not always a no. Sometimes that means they're not seeing it. Sometimes it's a no. Sometimes it's a maybe later. But just know that. I mean, that's why we have different forms of internet communication, stuff like that, email, whatever, LinkedIn, whatever it is. I know that's how a few people got positions on the production team for Queer Eye, is they reached out to producers and were like, I love this show. Here's how I could be an asset. And then they like got an interview and got a job.
That totally happened with Rachel Mendez, the producer, and they just DM'd her on LinkedIn and they gave their credentials, and she was like, okay, this is amazing. Because I think sometimes we forget about the personal stories and the journeys, and it's not always about what's on that cover letter and resume, but just knowing that she had the courage to reach out and plug herself is huge, So that was phenomenal. And I heard that at your guys' panel for the first time when I was like, oh, and then she was in the it was Erin. Yeah. And she was in the audience, and I'm like, oh, and then I didn't even know I was gonna be working with her. So that was great.
I love it. So anyway, sorry about the sidebar, but I just I need to let people know. I promise some things are easier, and you can make a connection that'll make a connection that'll make a connection, and big things can happen. And so now, because of that initial DM, and because we continued, as busy as things get and as weird as the world is, we continued to stay in touch. Yes, I'm now helping with this task force for the festival, and I'm really, really excited. I mean, I'm brand new, so we still have a lot to roll out, but I am super excited. I'm working predominantly on the video side of things. If anyone's interested in helping with the video side of things, you can reach out to me, by the way, and we'll get all contact information. You can find me on Facebook, all over the place. But yeah, I'm super excited because, video helps give people everywhere access to all kinds of things. And so, I want to make, this culture, your culture. I mean, obviously it's not mine, but I'm super interested in it, and I'm really excited to learn more about it as we go, but I want to make it accessible to everyone. So
and you're going to be so great at this. And Missy Jones is actually helping on your team. So there's only 2 of you at this point, but we have an amazing project management team that are also most new. I think there's only 3 of us that have been with the festival for almost 4 years. But like I told you, and I'll tell everybody here, I literally didn't even know how to do a festival 4 years ago. I've never done one. I don't even know how to manage one. And we have gotten this far to 4 years. And that's because of the amazing people of volunteers like Erin, like, all the people that have worked with us to come in. And whether they stay with us for a year or they stay with us, for 4. I think the impact of working together as a team, as a committee, learning with them, because we're all learning, and then seeing the impact of it all at the end of the day. That's the biggest thing, is to see it come to life, and you're just like exhausted, but at the same time you're like, we did this, this is such a great thing. And what we want to ensure now, especially virtually, is that you can do it too, right at home. We are here to assist anyone and everyone, which is what we do. But at the same time, it's kind of like you guys the people participating are the ones in control now this year. They're the ones that are going to take this opportunity and run with it and let us know what they need. And then we're just going to try to make it happen. Right. So I feel like the video part is just going to be that's our biggest class, first of all, at the foundation. Poor Jonathan Wilson, who's been like our mentor for like a year and a half. He's amazing. And he just takes on all these kids all the time. And he's just like phenomenal. So hopefully he'll be back virtually. But
I need to befriend him.
Yes, you do. Jonathan Wilson. Sorry, now everybody's going to He's amazing too. He's one of those people that you just meet and you're like, he's just so down to earth. Um, so he, I just wanted to make sure with the video part of it, and all aspects of this are amazing, but since we're talking video, that these kids and aspiring artists get the opportunity to show their work outside of their home, outside of their families, outside of their community, but actually out there broadcast live to who knows, might pick it up. I'm talking to you, like all those people out there looking for new work. So it could be like a 15-year-old with like a small project. So, but at the end of the day, it is just to make sure that our voices are heard and our work is seen.
Right. And I love everything in person. I do. I love in-person festivals. I love in-person, meetups. I love all of that. And taking things online makes things more accessible to more people.
Yes.
Like this festival is something that obviously it has been location dependent. It's no longer location dependent. And so I know that you're talking to people all over the place who could be a part of this. And I just love that. It makes the community feel so much bigger. And I also want to encourage people, just if you're interested in helping with a festival at all, volunteering small or big, doesn't matter if you have experience. If you're like, I'm interested in the video piece of it. Like, what does that entail? I think I want to be a part of it, but all you've got is your phone or you have no experience with any of this. That's okay. Yeah. Reach out. Like, everyone starts somewhere. Yes. And I don't feel like I'm not a person who's like, you must have 10 years of experience and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not how it is. That's a traditional norm that needs to be,
yes.
It needs to go away.
And I think that's definitely the mission and motto of the foundation, is that you never have to have any experience to come in and walk through our door and be a part of a festival. It's all free, no cost to anybody. So it's not even taking a chance in regards to, am I going to lose money in this or anything? And like Erin said, hopefully this virtual will kind of get us over like this hump where people get to know us better and know what we do virtually. So that way there's access to a lot more people. We love doing it's heartbreaking that we can't have all the lowriders in one place, all the artists in one place, all the food in one place, that people actually can eat. However, even the food will be done virtually, so that way people can cook it at home while the chefs and amazing restaurants cook with us online. Yeah, I know. It's like so much opportunity that I'm hoping will bring light to all things, all things in regards to what we do. But just the amazing fact that we have you on this team and Missy working with you. And don't get alarmed with the committee stuff I put on there. I do brain dumps, and that's how I work. And then you just have to go through and be like,
I get it. No, I get it. But that's the thing. That's what I love also about working in community. For the longest time, especially as, a new entrepreneur, I thought I have to do this by myself.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it is. Like, I can read articles by other people and I can listen to their advice, but I'm in it. Like, I decided to jump ship from corporate, so I've got to do everything by myself. That's not the case. And everything I feel, well, most things, like the 99.9% of things are better in community, because if you have an idea, people can build upon it, or they can be like, that's too much right now, because that's as someone who's been part of a nonprofit, I love doing things and coming up with new ideas. And sometimes I need someone to be like, pump the brakes. But at the same time, when I see someone who has so many ideas, I want to support them as much as possible. And if anyone else is wanting to support as much as possible. So for the video side of things, real quick, I just want to say there are so many, I just had my first meeting with the team like this past week, but there are so many ideas that we have, including showcasing student work and making sure that we have, all of these kinds of webinars and everything ready to go, as well as, pre-recorded videos of different parts of the culture to share with you wherever you're at. And I don't know. I'm just really excited. So there will be like the pre-made video packages. There will be the live stuff. There will be the things afterwards, like highlights and stuff like that. And I don't know, anyone who's interested in helping get the word out even more, all of these task forces are going to be working together because, you've got the project management side of things as well. You've got marketing, you've got all of these. We're all dependent on each other. But one person can't do it. Well, okay. I say one person can't do it all. Deanna has done it all.
No,
and now it's time to not.
I know, right? It's like, and it feels so good. Like on a Saturday, I wake up, I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry about that piece. That makes me, because somebody that's amazing at it and does know how to do it can do it.
Again, it's the reinventing the wheel piece. It's like, get the people who are interested and who love it to do it. And we will do it. And we'll do it for you, especially.
Oh, I love you, Erin. Well, that's why I'm so glad that you're a part of this. We have, it started now, the task force. We had one really good meeting, which was, a week ago, and, going to have more. We got those on the schedule. And so, if anybody just wants to come in and jump in, again, no experience, just passion for kids, passion for art in all genres. You're not even at all. You don't have to love everything, but if there's something you just want to work with and get your hand or toe in, heck yeah. I'm not sure who said that the other day on Facebook. Somebody did. You might have, Erin, where it says like, get your toe in and just stick it there for a little bit and just see how it explodes. Yeah. And that's kind of what we do here. So we get, some of people are like, I don't want to work with that because, it can get unorganized and a little bit crazy. But I think that's what makes it fun, because at the end of the day, it is to be fun. Because if we don't have fun, then nobody's going to have fun and nobody's going to want to do this. Right. But nobody's going to participate either.
Well, and I want to put a call out as a white person. White people, if you call yourself an ally and you're not doing at least little action, taking little actions to be able to call yourself an ally, please join us. Please join another nonprofit. Please, do the phone calls, do the emails, do what you can on behalf of these minority communities, because we got to all work together, and people are tired of just seeing, I am tired of just seeing white people everywhere dominating everything. It's stupid.
I love you, Erin. I know we and Cynthia Fales just had an Instagram live yesterday. It was so funny because, we got deep in a conversation too, but there was somebody from Canada and she was like, I don't know anybody from Canada. That must be from you. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. So you don't even have to be from Kansas City, and you can help in some way if you want, come, because we're doing Zooms, we're doing virtual, if there's any aspect that you can think of that you want to help from afar and bring in some insight from that way, that would be so grateful, as well.
And even if you just want to connect us with someone who can help, or someone who wants to help, or, talent, or, whatever. I am so excited to learn more about the food and the art and the music and everything. I want to be introduced to everything. This is going to change things for so many people. And it's a whole month.
It is. That's what we have room. So it's like, all, of course, definitely everything local, but we can have a sprinkle of people that might be from, New York or even Oklahoma. I have some amazing people that do podcasting in Oklahoma. So that's why I said that, that can be on and just give like a 30-minute segment of who they are, what they do, maybe a little tease on what their work is. And, why not? I mean, that's the whole thing. We all got to know about each other. So if they know about us, we know about them. They'll spread their word in their area and we'll spread the word in our area. And it just gets into that togetherness of we're all trying to get to a goal, right? We all want ourselves to have these amazing careers and to work in that. And then we want the kids to do the same. And if we're not working together and not sharing, like you said, kids will leave, maybe they'll come back, maybe they won't.
Right.
And just knowing that you have these opportunities here in Kansas City, let's just do it. I mean, the worst I can do is that nobody watches, but I highly doubt that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen.
I'm just so excited to work with you to make this community visible, and to make these different art forms and jobs and everything else accessible. And people, this will make people accessible to other people. And this is how you use social media, and this is how you use the internet.
So true. This is how you do it. And I'm learning that very quickly. So, Erin, tell us again before we leave all the ways that they can connect with you, and if you can give that information about KC Whift again, and any other film areas that maybe some people want to connect with you or the Film Place Commission as well.
Yeah. So I am Erin Zimmerman. You can find me on Instagram at EZ Visibility. You can also find me on Facebook, Erin Zimmerman. Kansas City Women in Film and Television is the nonprofit that I am president of. And you can find us on Facebook under that same exact name. Well, Kansas City Women in Film and TV, I believe, is what we are on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram, and you can also reach out to me directly, president@kcwift.com. We work very closely with other organizations. So if it's something where you reach out and you're like, I'm interested in this, and we don't feel like that's necessarily our thing, I will connect you with who I think you could talk to. But also, we welcome everyone. We support all genders, all points of view. We want to help you get your work created and out into the world for people to see and hear. And we work, like I said, I personally work closely I partner with Steph Scuppum quite a bit, the film commissioner at the film office. But if it's, you can visit them online as well. I know their KC Film and their Film in KC across different, you'll find them pretty easily. But I do know that we at KC Whift have an intern program if anyone's ever interested, and we do have a field trip that goes to different news stations and to the film office. So if anyone's ever interested.
That's amazing. Please tell us a little bit. Do they apply now? Like, what's that going on right now?
So we take applications all the time. And so we still have space in this summer period as well. So we'll take people who are in late high school through college. It is unpaid. However, it is mostly remote, except for in-person events. We do everything from design to social media help to video work to when we do events, we need event coordination and outreach, all kinds of different things you could be doing. And then we do have field trips, and you have access to our board of directors, which includes, people in different areas of filmmaking and television. And we try to connect you with as much as possible. I know we've had intern grads go on to intern at Judd Apatow's studio in LA, or go on to, direct music videos and all kinds of stuff. And so it's, I don't know. I have a lot of fun with it, and I'm not one of the interns.
But it gives kids an access. Again, if you're in Kansas City and you don't think you have any access to anything big, this is definitely a starting point. And I understand it is not paid, but just the experience alone and the connections you make, that's what we need. That's what I was missing out when I was younger. And that's why this all started, was because, you need to know those people in order to kind of further into what you want to do. You need mentorship, 110%.
Yes, and a big piece of it is mentorship. You'll get it, you ask. The thing is, I always have to, I make sure that I kind of, I work with the interns a little bit, talk with them a little bit about, you got to ask for what you want and what you need. Ask for that connection. And I try to encourage that constantly, because especially being remote most of the time, it could get intimidating for people. I know it's still intimidating for me to ask for what I want. And especially if you're a younger person, just ask for it. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a ton of experience. That's why we're here, to give you that experience. And again, it's always mostly remote. And if you end up, if you go to school outside of Missouri, that's fine.
Yeah,
that is fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, Erin is going to be part of the Latino Arts Festival Task Force. So if you are a participating videographer or photographer or anything in regards to the festival, you will meet Erin at some point. It'll probably be virtual, since we are virtual this year, but that's still a great connecting point. So even that piece of it is priceless. Just getting that intimate mentoring, via the participation of the festival is huge. Just along the lines with everybody that's going to be a part of the festival that's helping, just those connections that you wouldn't even know might be there, that I've gotten to know a lot of these people, and I'm like, oh my God, if I had known you like 10 years ago, this would be so different. But hopefully get those access points now. And so any parting words, Erin, anything you'd like to share with the group out there, this virtual group out here? We've had some great comments from staff, and Alfredo Montez was like, great stuff, Deanna and Erin, thank you, Alfredo. And so any parting words?
Parting words. I have all kinds of things. I'm not going to be cliche. I just want to say, just reach out. Those are my parting words. Just reach out, because they're all even if you never want to volunteer ever, for anything, but you're interested in what's going on, reach out.
Yeah,
make that.
I love that, because volunteer is a big word, right?
It is, and it's intimidating.
It is, and commitment, 110%. I get scared, and I'm volunteering for my own stuff. So it's like, I totally get it. So, and that's why we try to make it easy. And I know other people that work with volunteers try to make it as easy as possible, knowing that this is you're doing free work, but you're giving all your heart. I think that's more than being paid for something, because you're giving your heart and soul and passion to something that you're not sure what's going to happen at the end sometimes. So we just know that we have a great group of people, and if anything, just the connections you're going to make here, especially like with Erin. So
and with Deanna.
I love you, Erin. Thank you so much for being with us today and giving us so much information. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. Again, reach out to Erin. She is so reachable and will answer anything she can. If not, she'll reach out to whoever you can. But with that, it's beautiful outside. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Great weekend for that. So I'll be seeing you soon, Erin. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.